Welcome to the Tutorium in Intensive English. My name is Katie and I am an instructor at the Tutorium. If you're here joining me today, that means that you're interested in improving your pronunciation in English, and I'm excited to help you on that journey. In today's module, we're going to be starting with consonants, vowels, and syllables. And before we get started, I just want to talk about our goals for these modules. My goal is not to make you sound like me. I don't think it's necessary that you sound like a native speaker. I don't even know what a native speaker of English really is. There are so many different types of English spoken all over the world. My goal is to help you be a clearer communicator. And by being clearer, you will have more confidence. All right, let's get started. So quickly, today's agenda, we are going to talk about vowels and consonants and review those terms. We're going to define syllables. We're going to be introducing the IPA symbols, and I will tell you what that means in a little bit. And finally, we're going to finish by talking about something called syllabic consonants. All right, so let's get started with our first topic. So when I ask you, what are vowels and consonants? You probably, if I asked you what a vowel is, you would say, oh, it's these letters, A, E, I, O, U, right? And I have Y there in parentheses because Y can kind of do work as a vowel and as a consonant. And we'll look more at that, as we go along in these modules. And you would say, Katie, the consonants are all the other letters in the alphabet, B, C, D, F, G. And you're absolutely right. These are the vowels and these are the consonants. When we read and we write in English, these symbols, suit our purposes perfectly. But when we are talking about pronunciation, these symbols are not always enough to demonstrate the sounds that we're talking about, right? Sounds in English and spelling in English are two very different things. So for these modules, we're going to be using something called the IPA, and that stands for the International Phonetic Alphabet. You can think of it like an alphabet for pronunciation, right? Because there are always more sounds than there are letters in our normal alphabet. All right, so now let's move on to syllables. What is a syllable, right? A lot of you are probably familiar with the term syllable, and that's great. You already are a little ahead of the game. If you have no idea what a syllable is, don't worry. We are going to figure that out together today. So I like to think of language like music. Do you guys like music? I really like music. So when I think about language, every language has its own music, and a syllable is like a beat, right? When you think of the beat of the song, you maybe are clapping your hands along with the beat. Those are syllables. So like in relation to language, every word has a certain number of beats in it or a certain number of syllables. And knowing how many syllables there are in a word and how to pronounce those syllables can help us speak more clearly and be better understood. So we want to count the beats in a word. That will help us find the syllables. And in English, syllables are almost always going to be focused on a vowel sound, okay? So there's going to be a vowel at the core of our syllable. And then that means consonants will be surrounding that vowel sound, right? There might be a consonant on both sides of our vowel. Maybe there's just a consonant on one or the other side of our vowel. There's a lot of different combinations that are possible. And then there are some special consonants, and those are the syllabic consonants. And we'll talk more about those in a little bit. Okay, but for now, just think about a syllable has a vowel sound at its core or at its heart. And let's just take a moment just to do a quick practice with the word syllable. Okay, let's focus on this word syllable. How many syllables are there in this word syllable? 3, right? You said 3, you're right. Syllable. You've got 3 syllables. All right. We're going to do some more practice in a little bit with different words from our Module 1 vocabulary. But before we do that, let's look at some vowels. Okay, let's look a little bit more closely at these vowel sounds. So here's our International Phonetic Alphabet chart. And when we think about vowel sounds in English, I want you to think about them in 2 separate categories. Okay, this is our first category. And this category is made up of vowels that have 1 vowel sound inside the syllable. Okay, so your mouth just really focusing on making 1 vowel sound. And when we focus on vowels, there's a lot of air flowing through your lungs, up your throat, and out your mouth. There isn't, your mouth isn't preventing the air from leaving your body when you make a vowel sound, right? Your tongue is moving around, but the air is flowing very freely. And let's just look at these 1 vowel sounds. Let's go through them together. Okay, we're going to take a little bit of time on this slide and practice saying these vowel sounds. And don't worry, you don't have to memorize these vowel sounds. In a few modules, you're going to be doing a lot of review. So let's start with our first symbol, which is here. The symbols are all on the left side, and then we have example words on the right side to help us see what the sound is like in spelling. Okay, so our first sound, we say it E. Practice with me. E. You can notice my mouth and my cheeks kind of tense up. E. Heat. Cheese. All right, our next vowel sound is also an I kind of sound, and it's the sound I. I, like hit or bit. So if we just compare these 2 sounds quickly, we have E, E, and I, I. Let's move along to our third sound, the sound eh, eh, like the word pen or egg, eh. And then our fourth sound, we have the word ah. Kind of looks like an A and an E smushed together. Ah, like in the word cat or apple. Ah. And then our last vowel sound here in this first column is the sound and we call this sound schwa. And I kind of focused on this sound a little bit because it's the most common vowel sound in English. And you'll notice here in my words about and afraid, this sound schwa, it is, like I said, the most common vowel sound in English. And it's also always in an unstressed syllable. And you might be thinking, what does unstressed mean? We'll talk more about that in our next module. But basically, syllables can be strong or not, right? So if a syllable is strong, we say it's stressed. And if it's not, it's unstressed. So schwa is just your tongue on the bottom of your mouth. Say it with me. Okay, let's go down the next side of the chart. Our first vowel sound here is the sound ah. So we're going to open our mouth, ah, like the word father, cot, not, ah. This vowel sound, a backwards C, is very similar to ah. It's more caw, caw. So we have the vowel sound fa, father, and ka, cot. This next vowel sound, the upside down V sound, is very similar to our schwa, but, like the word but and nut, this sound would always be in a stressed syllable. So there's a little more stress and tension in your mouth when you make this vowel sound because it's in a stressed syllable. And our last two single vowel sounds are the sound in the word book and look. So, focus on your mouth. There's a little bit of rounding in your lips, just a little bit. And then our last vowel sound is the sound ooh, and there's a lot of rounding in your lips. Ooh, like in the word to. All right, so these are our one vowel sound in one syllable vowels. Now, our second category, there are some vowel sounds that move from one vowel to another vowel inside the same syllable. So it's like getting two vowels for the price of one. So with these vowel sounds, you can feel your tongue moving as you're making the sound, moving from the first vowel sound to the second vowel sound. Let's practice. Try and listen and pay attention to what your tongue is doing. So the first sound is I, kind of like the letter I or your eye. And it's in words like fly and try. Let's say that sound together. I, right? And our next vowel sound is the sound A, like the letter A. A, like the word play and may. And with these vowel sounds, think about your tongue. What is your tongue doing when you say the word I? When you first start this sound, your mouth is open and your tongue is low. And by the end of the sound, your mouth is closing and your tongue has moved up in your mouth. I and A. All right, let's look at our third sound. Oi, oi, like in the word boy and coin. Our next sound, the last in our first column, ow, like when you hurt yourself. Ow, that hurt. Like the word found, sound, bow. All right, let's look at our second column of sounds. We have O, the sound O. This is the sound that we find in the word go and taco, one of your vocabulary words from this week. And a final special category of these vowel sounds are the R-colored vowels. In North American English, we have a lot of R sounds at the end of words, and they combine with vowels. So our first R-colored vowel is the sound ear, like in the word here or near and dear. Ear. And our last sound is an unstressed sound that usually would only appear in an unstressed syllable. And it is as in the word Mr., editor, and standard. Okay, so remember, I think this is a good illustration of the fact that spelling and pronunciation do not always match, right? With the word editor, we don't say editor, even though that's an O there. We say editor. Same with standard. We don't say standard, we say standard. All right. Let's do some practice with some of your vocabulary words from your Module 1 listening. So we have the word shift, one of your vocabulary words. How many syllables do you hear in this word shift? If you said 1, you are correct. Shift. What vowel sound is at the core, at the heart of that syllable? I. The vowel sound I creates the heart of the syllable in this word. Next, we have the word taco. How many syllables do you hear in this word? Taco. 2, that's right. The first syllable has the vowel sound ah, like in the word father. That creates the heart of the first syllable in taco. And the second syllable is our two-sound vowel O. This creates the heart of the second syllable in the word taco. Now we have the word raise. How many syllables do you hear? One. That's right. This can be tricky because you see that E at the end of the word and you think, oh, that must be a syllable, but it's not. Remember, spelling and pronunciation don't always play nicely. So we have one syllable, raise, and the vowel sound is the sound A, and that creates the heart of the syllable in this one syllable word. Our last word is neglect. Neglect. You said two syllables. You're right. The first syllable is our schwa, right? This is an unstressed syllable, n, n. And our second syllable is that sound eh, like in the word egg, neglect. That sound eh creates the heart of the second syllable in the word neglect. All right, so remember I said that there were some special syllabic consonants. Usually vowels form syllables, right? You're going to find a vowel at the heart or the core of the syllable. But there are some exceptions. Sometimes when a consonant sound can be the heart of a syllable, and that is a syllabic consonant. All right, and there are 4 syllabic consonants in English. The first one is the consonant L. Now, most of the time, these are not going to be in a stressed syllable. Okay, so if there's a syllabic consonant, it's going to be in an unstressed or not a strong syllable. And we'll talk more about stress in our next module. But let's look at the word bottle. Okay, the word bottle, the first syllable is ba, and the second syllable, the heart of the syllable is ul, bottle. So we go directly from the T to the L sound, and L is the heart of our syllable. The next syllabic consonant is the consonant M, like in the word bottom. Now again, this is in an unstressed syllable, ba-tum. So we go directly in that second syllable, we go directly from the T sound into the M, and M creates the core or the heart of our syllable. Bottom, bottom. You've probably noticed that those T's sound more like D's in American English, right? We do that a lot, like in the word water. Our third syllabic consonant is the consonant N in the word button. Now in the word button, we don't even say a T or a D sound. We say button. And the whole second consonant is completely the N sound. Button. And our final syllabic consonant is R, like the word father. So in the word father, the first syllable is our ah, fa, and our second syllable, we create the TH sound between our teeth. Our tongue is between our teeth, and we go directly from the TH sound into the R sound. Father, and R creates the core or the heart of that second syllable. Those are syllabic consonants. Pretty cool. All right, that is the end of Module 1. You now have an idea of consonants, vowels, and the International Phonetic Alphabet. If you want to look at the phonetic alphabet a little bit more closely, you can download the PDF that contains the 2 charts that were in this presentation. And next topic, we will talk more about syllable stress. All right, thanks. Take care.